Hi everyone, it's Lindsay from Larson Therapeutic Arts. Today we're going to be doing tinfoil relief prints. So first of all, what you're going to need, I have a board right here, and this is just kind of particle board that I found in my house randomly, but you could use cardboard, foam board, anything that's just going to be a little bit more sturdy of a surface than paper. Okay, I'm going to need my glue, as per usual, a pencil, a paintbrush, some tin foil, and some yarn, or you could do string, you could do anything that's just gonna give us kind of that elevated pattern. So we're just gonna do part one today, and then I'll post part two tomorrow, because this is kind of a multiple step process. So the first thing I'm going to do is create a design on the board. So I might just do, you could do a specific picture, you could do various outlines, it could be kind of anything you'd like it to be. I'm just going to kind of create, if you can see, I'm starting to just create various swirl-like patterns. On the board, it doesn't need to be something specific. I have a lot of my kiddos that like to do lettering and different types of images, but I prefer just kind of to do some organic shapes. So once I have that down, I'll get my yarn ready. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take, after I've drawn out my pencil line pattern, is I'm going to take my glue and I'm just going to start to draw over my line pattern with my glue. I'm not even following it exactly, just kind of freehanding it slightly and just going over that pattern. That I've created. For myself. This is one of my favorite sensory exercises. It's multiple steps. There's a lot of different inputs you can play with. So if you've got some restless kiddos, this would be a good art project for the day. Okay, so then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start trimming some pieces of yarn. And then just laying them out on my glue. Got a little bit of extra there, so I'm going to trim that. Make sure that my yarn's really sticking to my glue. I've got kind of the shorter piece from that one, so I'm going to glue that down. And you want to trim anywhere that you have a little bit of excess, just as you don't want, or add a little bit of glue where you have excess, just because you want the yarn to be adhering everywhere that you place it down. Keep going with that. Definitely overestimated that piece in length by quite a bit. just gonna keep adding. That yarn down. Trimming, adding where I need some of those extra pieces. Keep get those lined up with the glue. Okay, getting closer. And just for demonstration's sake, I might just do 2 more so you can start to see the full process. Okay, so once you have all your yarn kind of glued out, laid down, what you want to do, granted, I'd give it a little bit of time to just kind of set, make sure it's really sticking, just kind of go over and lay everything out, is what I'm going to do. If you have spray adhesive, great. I know probably a lot of you don't have spray adhesive just lying around the house. If you do, spray adhesive works well. If not, I'm just going to kind of go over my areas in between with my glue. Kind of equally distribute. And then I'm just going to brush it out. And I want that to be as even of a distribution of glue as possible in between those spaces. Making sure I'm getting that all filled in. I don't want it a lot more thick in one area comparative to another. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfectly even by any means, but as even as you possibly can, distribute it and brush it out in between those spaces where the yarn is. Would be ideal. So I'm going to just keep brushing, spreading that out. Being careful not to hit my yarn too much. Definitely need some more in here. Edges are key. Make sure you're getting your edges as you're distributing. All of that glue, getting it all over. Make sure it's, like I said, relatively as even as possible. I think you want to cover the surface of your board as much as possible. For demonstration's sake and time, I'm going to just show you the next step. So I've got my yarn down, I've got my glue. Just adjusting it a little bit. So now I'm going to take my tin foil. I'm going to measure out a piece that's long enough, and I'm going to overlay my tin foil, and it's okay if I have some edges. I'm going to overlay my tin foil onto my design and really smooth it out. I'm going to smooth in between where I really have that yarn pattern. Really fill it in. I want to see those lines. I'm really going to take my fingers around where those lines are created. Fill in, smooth it out. You want to be pretty gentle with this, with that wet glue. And then I'm going to just cut the edges. Of where I have some excess. Tin foil. Okay. So I've cut all my edges, and then what I'm going to do is just flip it over and fold any last excess that I might have. So you should have something akin to this where the pattern's really sticking out. You can see you really want to smooth over and get those lines of your yarn protruding as much from the tin foil as possible. So there's your step 1. I'll be back tomorrow with step 2. So you'd let this dry overnight, and then we'll start again tomorrow. Thanks. Have a good day.